All right, welcome back to Fleck and Socks, a podcast, episode 225. Today on the show, Joe Biden is getting flagrant with his pardons. We're going to show you who's getting off for what. Then we have some new compelling explanations for what the alien ships are, and we have footage from 50 years ago that looks very familiar. Then in Cringe of the Week, we have a firefighter who changed his gender in order to meet the physical standards, and it worked. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have our list of the top 20 words that could also be black people names. All this and more, it's Fleck and Socks, a podcast, episode 225, ranked the best news podcast of all time!
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck and Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab. All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, Christmas is coming, and you know what your loved ones don't really need? More stuff. You probably have stuff packed in your attics and closets as it is, and usually that stuff is plastic crap that comes from China. So instead of buying more made-in-China plastic stuff, why not get the loved ones in your life what they really want? Pasture-raised American beef. Farmer Bill's is offering a 15% discount on their original and spicy beef biltong slabs. These slabs are the perfect gift. They're a pound and usually come in 1 or 2 big pieces with clean ingredients. It's just beef, sea salt, apple cider vinegar, and spices. The slabs are succulent and juicy, they have a perfect marbling of fat, and they go great in charcuterie boards, great with cheese, or great for just snacking around the house this holiday season. All of Farmer Bill's beef is pasture-raised in South Dakota with no added hormones or antibiotics, and your package should arrive within 5 days of placing your order. So secure this deal today and order now. Use code FLECKUS15 at checkout for 15% off of your order. And the grass-fed tallow bombs are fantastic stocking stuffers as well. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's linked in the description. FLECKUS15 is the code at checkout for 15% off. Let's support the people who support the show and pick up a fantastic gift for Christmas. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right. Thank you to Farmer Bill's for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Guys, you know what to get people for Christmas.
Yeah, Farmer Bill's in Bonus Land.
Farmer Bill's in Bonus Land. It tastes so good. And yeah, we're getting into our final week before Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Crimin now.
Yeah, and I see you switch back to best news podcast of all time, which I like. Some fans, after you teased it one time, some fans are like, where'd it go? What happened? So I think people like it.
People listen.
Yeah.
Makes them go crazy.
I know.
It is the best news podcast of all time, potentially.
Yeah.
It has the potential. All right, we have a lot to get to today. A packed show. It's going to go maybe a little bit long, but it's the last week before Christmas.
Yep.
So whatever happens, happens. Our first story of the day, not the most important, but maybe the most important to me.
Jimmy Carter, age 100, will skip Donald Trump's inauguration, joining growing list of Dems.
Jimmy Carter is persona non grata. Once Trump takes power, he's the first guy to go down. Him and that wife, Betty Crocker or whatever.
No. I mean, he's dead. He's like a dead man. He's not making decisions. It's like, yeah, the people around Jimmy Carter decided, no, we're not making the trip from Georgia to D.C. to drag him around. It's not like a decision or he laid the hammer down or has a quote.
So it's more difficult to move a bag of bones like that.
Yeah, but hey, to be fair, there are a growing list of Dems who are skipping the inauguration. These people who will have no say in the administration. So I get it. I wouldn't want to go either. Oh, my biggest political enemy just stomped me out in public, and now I'm going to go sit there with next to George Bush or something?
That's true. And to be fair, if your life is mostly just
yeah,
I wouldn't want to get dragged places.
Me too.
I'd be like, let's just stay in the house unless it's something really important.
Yeah, I'm not going in public if my mouth is gaping open and I can't even speak. So,
but that being said, if he needs to go to jail, he needs to go to jail.
Jimmy Carter hasn't been in power in 10 administrations.
Whatever Project 2025 says to do with him gets done.
All right. That's you.
I stand by it. All right. Justin Trudeau may be resigning or thinking about it. Benny Johnson tweeted, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is reportedly weighing resignation as tensions rise after the country's finance minister steps down.
Yeah, and I'm not going to pretend to fully understand the Canadian landscape of politics. We obviously know Trudeau is a globalist, leftist pussy. And I don't know, the odds, there's like betting markets that are saying it looks like he's going to step down. What do you think?
I think he's an F slur.
Yep. That's implied.
So I want him to step down. He's a theater kid. The installation of the theater kids into the government was like beta tested in Canada with him years ago, and it worked.
Yeah.
And then they ran that play in all the other Western countries.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is those types of people who are universally hated or have approval ratings that are so bad, they just kind of stick it out. And they just eat the bullets, eat the punches, you know? It's just like the proverbial bullets, obviously. But, geez, you, Jimmy Carter, me, Trudeau. But, like, those aren't the type of people who go like, oh, I'm finally listening to what the people want. Like, he ushered in the worst, like, Indian migrant crisis in Canadian history.
He's in on it. Once you're in on it, why would you ever say, all right, you guys can have it back?
Yeah, you caught me. That doesn't ring true to me. So, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced.
And then the young people in Canada seem to be catching on to Justin Trudeau's true ways. This guy was going for a jog and ran into him, and look what happened.
Justin! Look at this faggot.
He's got to resign for that. He got so embarrassed.
Yeah, that guy agrees with you on the F slur part.
Yeah, that's why we put it in the show.
Yeah.
All right, Jill Biden was hosting some sort of tacky Christmas celebration with all the plastic stuff they put up at the White House. Mm-hmm. And there were a bunch of kids there, and I have a feeling one of these kids' parents is a Trump supporter.
Hello. How are you? Hi. Happy holidays. Hi. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Yes.
Yep, we got her. And
Yeah.
she handled it well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, out of all the Bidens, I think I probably like her the best, and then Hunter.
Okay. All right.
You know, she's not fully in on it, the political stuff. She was kind of just dealing with it because it was thrust upon her. Like she's not scheming, in any way. Joe Biden was in the bed that he made, but I think she is like maybe someone who voted for Trump and maybe a more normal person.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but
Christmas spirit.
She at least corrected herself. And I also saw, just anecdotally, I saw social media clips. Obviously, the White House had their Christmas party over this past weekend, and it's their last one for a while. They know everyone's losing jobs. It's kind of like that has to be an eerie feeling. Like, hey, we didn't really accomplish much. We're done. We're not allowed back in for 4 years. And Merry Christmas, though.
Yeah, why didn't anyone vote for us? You can't say Merry Christmas, though. Just say Happy Holidays. It's
Yeah.
a holiday party. I don't know why no one wants us in it anymore.
It's crazy.
All right, let's get to the story of the day. Biden's pardons getting out of hand. We have a list here of all the other presidential pardons number-wise, and look how his compares to others.
Yeah, JFK, 575, Lyndon B. Johnson, 1,100, Richard Nixon, just under 1,000, Gerald Ford, 400. Everyone's in that range, 400, 500. George H.W. Bush, 77.
Light.
That's a Grinch. That's feeling Grinchy. Stay in jail. Obama had close to 2,000. He's the next highest on this list. Donald Trump, 237. That number's about to go up. Mm-hmm. And Joe Biden, 8,062, and he still has 36 days left.
8,000. Thousands and thousands of pardons.
Yeah, he 4X'd the next highest, which was Obama.
4X the next highest. And then when you go through the people and what they did, it doesn't make a lot of sense. If you look at it normally, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you think about Joe Biden and the crime family, it makes more sense. Can you read some of these examples?
Yeah, Biden granted clemency to Rita Crundwell. She embezzled over $53 million from the city of Dixon, Illinois for over 22 years in what the Department of Justice described as the largest theft of public funds in state history. Clemency for her.
She's good to go.
Yeah. Jacqueline Mills stole millions of dollars from a taxpayer-funded USDA program to feed poor children in Arkansas. Joe Biden just granted her clemency.
Congrats.
He commuted the prison sentence of Mira Sachdeva, a cancer doctor who diluted chemo drugs to patients as part of an $8 million Medicare fraud. also reused old needles, leading to a lawsuit by a patient who claimed he contracted HIV.
She's good to go.
So picking on the people with cancer, just diluting their treatment a little bit and then stealing public funds so far.
And people who give people AIDS.
Yeah. And then here's another headline. Victim shocked after Biden grants clemency to Kids for Cash judge and $54 million embezzler. If you don't remember that story, that was a former Pennsylvania judge. He was convicted in 2011 in what was called Kids for Cash scandal, where he basically took kickbacks from for-profit detention centers in exchange for wrongly sending juveniles to their facilities. It was like really young kids on very petty crimes, and he'd just be like, yeah, that's a year. And it was getting cash envelopes on the side. So like criminals who are pretty irredeemable, right?
Yeah, a lot of those things, they weren't like, oh, marijuana is a little different now.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy had a joint, whatever they say.
Public perception hasn't changed on imprisoning children wrongfully, right? Like crazy.
But maybe we could use some more children imprisonment with how things have gone.
Yeah. And then I do want to say that some of these people, like, it wasn't necessarily hard time life in prison. A lot of these people, because it's a volume play, he did over 8,000, obviously. And some of them had kind of middling sentences, like that Cash for Kids judge. He was on house arrest, who had been since released during COVID. So he was just on house arrest. And he was on house arrest through 2026. So it's not like he had that much left.
You're not saving him from much.
So why do it, right?
I don't even think Joe Biden knows what day it is, what time it is, what he had for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's one of those things where why would you do it? Because the guy's going to be off in a little bit anyway. And then so you rephrase it again. So why would you do it?
Yeah.
You know?
I think his staffers just go like this, and then you just sign this one too.
Yeah.
And then this one too. And he just goes,
yeah.
Busy day at the office.
Yeah, it's kind of like the fat old lady here making her grandma
I'll show
vote
you
for
where to
Kamala
write.
Harris.
Keep the pen in your hand.
Get the pen in your hand.
And it's right here.
This is Joe Biden commuting prisoners' sentences. And then so 8,000, it's just like who are his staffers' personal friends? Who do they owe favors to? Who are they like trying to get a leg up with for their transition to not having a job anymore? So, I mean, it raises questions. It's a lot of scumbag people, and I don't know. This guy, Joe Biden, doesn't fucking care.
Yeah, he does not care.
His reputation, he doesn't give a shit what happens.
It's all over. And then with that mindset, it would make sense for him to pardon himself, his brother, and Hunter, which he already did.
Yeah.
And then there's not a conspiracy theory. There's just like a compelling theory about that exact thing. Can you read that tweet?
Yeah, what are the chances Joe Biden will pardon himself, his brother, or the 7 other family members who got millions from China, Russia, and Ukraine? The money they funneled through 20 shell companies to a total of 9 family members, prompting 6 banks to file over 170 suspicious activity reports with the Treasury Department suspecting money laundering, tax fraud, and other criminal activities. He's got his homies are kind of entangled. There's a little entanglement.
There is entanglement. And then we have like the old texts that were released and then went public from Hunter Biden. And a couple of them kind of allude to the crime family actions that were going on.
Yeah, I mean, the most famous one is, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, his father, and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction.
Good for Hunter.
I mean, that's a textbook strong arm. I don't know if there's a lawyer involved making sure he has plausible deniability when he's writing that text.
The man standing next to me, it's the Weekend from Bernie's guy.
Yeah, the guy whose hand is being puppeted to sign clemency and shit. I mean, that's obviously old, but yeah, I don't know. There could be some late game pardons. And
in my opinion, if Joe Biden on the way out pardons himself, his brother, everyone involved in the money laundering,
a slow clap.
That's a clean op. That's a heist. That's an Italian job. And on the last day, I'll pardon all of us. And we walk out with millions.
Yeah.
They go, oh, you crazy son of a bitch. This just might work.
That's some henchman shit, dude. That's some boss level henchman shit. And obviously he's a scumbag, but, you know.
If you can pull it off, you can pull it off.
I agree.
Let's get to our next story. ABC is going to pay Trump $15 million because George Stephanopoulos said that he raped somebody.
Yeah, there's some specific verbiage that doesn't matter, but yeah, ABC to apologize to Trump and forced to pay $15 million to settle defamation suit. And I think that $15 million is going to Trump's National Library that will be created after his next term.
Good. And then Cernovich had a tweet that gave us some insight into why they settled.
He said George Stephanopoulos was set to sit for a 4-hour deposition and have his emails subject to discovery. That's why they settled the case, to prevent people from learning how much ABC News lies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to show how the sausage is made either if I was ABC. I'd say, 15 mil to keep everything a secret? Great.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of sausage, Rick Grinnell, he has a new job within the presidential campaign or the whatever it's called.
The administration. President Trump has announced Rick Grinnell will serve as his presidential envoy for special missions. Rick will serve in the hottest spots around the world, including Venezuela and North Korea, Trump says.
So the presidential envoy for special missions, I'm assuming the presidential missions are going to be getting poppers and pina coladas and some sort of cabana boy, private
like
jet with a cabana boy to Tulum.
An all-male resort in Venezuela or something. Hey, and you know what? It's a funny joke. It's a funny joke. Thailand. He really wants to go to Thailand. Can we do an operation in Thailand? But
him saying the location, it's like, we really got to get to Costa Rica this time of year. It's like, is something going on there? And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Haven't you heard? Oh, I don't know. I think they're moving arms through there. And so Rick Grinnell is obviously a gay man. And this is funny joke.
It's a funny joke.
It's a funny joke. We're not being serious. When the difference between Trump and Biden admin, when Trump selects someone, it's because the person does something. It's not because they're a twink who wears a wig or does XYZ like it happened in the Biden admin. So Rick Grinnell is actually probably do something. But this, at a certain point, Trump's appointments and the jobs he's giving people can sometimes be insulting. Like he sent Kimberly Guilfoyle to Greece. He said, get the fuck out of here. Go to Greece. You're the ambassador to Greece now.
That's interesting.
It could be viewed as a vacation or like a hookup or a get out of here type
So the Rick Grinnell stuff was a joke. He does have a real job, but he also is interested in the cabana boy doing poppers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the conclusion. Great guy. But, and there's a difference.
But he keeps it private.
He keeps it private. He doesn't rub people's faces in it.
On the weekend, he does it.
On the weekend, he goes crazy.
All right. Speaking of another character, George Santos, he posted this from Times Square, basically saying he got assaulted.
How do you like that? This guy's got audacity to show his face. Hey, George Santos, eh? Oh, hey? What's up? How do you like that? How do you like that, George? Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy, man.
So that was staged. That was fake, and it was an attempt to promote his podcast.
Yeah, he admitted it. This video was staged to promote his podcast. He knew the guy.
Why?
You can tell in his face. He goes, "What the hell?" Like he's like laughing or something.
Yeah, but like, what? Why is he always getting caught with his little schemes?
Sneaky. He's sneaky.
He's always trying to like deceive and sneak. He did Ozempic, got caught doing that. The funds from his campaign were used for like Botox or whatever.
I know.
He's always getting caught sneaking and doing little schemes, which is interesting.
And some could argue, some characters on The Sopranos might argue that being gay is sneaky.
That's sneaky too.
They're used to sneaking around, and so it's kind of consistent.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
I know.
All right, we have a little bit of a migrant section. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We have a migrant section here. First things first, there's a new Somali scam surrounding autism.
Yeah. Breaking, a massive Somali autism welfare scam just exploded in Minnesota. Where else? Little Mogadishu, a.k.a. MSP. The number of autism providers went up 700% from 41 to 328 in the past 5 years. Autism spending shot up from 6 million to 192 million. Somalis are 7 times more likely to get autism services. FBI raids are happening now.
That's interesting. To be fair, I didn't even know Somali kids could be autistic. I didn't think they had that computer brain option.
I don't think they do. I think
So
it's
that's-
all a fake. It's all fake, and they just go, yeah, he's autistic, and then
He doesn't speak any English.
and they're dumb as fuck. So, and this obviously follows the $250 million Feeding Our Future scam. They scammed $250 million off the state government of Minneapolis, which I think some of it's federal funding. It's like a mix. They don't care where the money comes from as long as it ends up in their pocket. And authorities say at least a dozen defendants charged in the Feeding Our Future child nutrition fraud case also owned or received money from the autism clinics.
So they basically figured out like, oh, they just send money and we say we need it and they send it. Let's just do that again for autism instead of food.
It's called fraud. You know, they just discuss. It's the same thing. They discover fraud. They don't care. They don't have ties to this country. They go, oh, the money machine? Yeah, turn it on. Oh, I have to lie?
It's okay. They'll send it.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. So low trust society, low trust metropolitan area in Minneapolis now.
Then you defraud the people who brought you in.
Yeah.
It's like the taxpayers that brought you in. You're an outsider and you're in, and you're allowed to be in, and then you stole hundreds of millions of dollars from them.
Yeah. It's no good deed goes unpunished, like to a T. And, you know, a lot of people, the leftists or whatever who want asylum and everything like that, it's like they ignore this shit. They don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
These are like massive frauds. These are like, it's not quite Bernie Madoff level shit. But like 250 mil multiple times, that spending went from 6 mil to 190.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fucking money, guys.
And there's a lot of people who probably got away with it. So like Bernie, they made off.
Oh, chill, bitch.
Okay. Next, we have, this is in Canada. There's an Indian man at like the DMV type place, and he's mad at the worker, and look what he resorts to.
Photo now. Delete my photo now.
I have your photo on the camera too. I have your photo on the video. What is your problem?
Then why did you take the...
Because you refused to pay.
I didn't refuse. I told you that you are the picture...
We're going around in circles here. You're not getting anywhere. I don't know what else to tell you.
You don't know how to behave to the customer. That's the problem. I was very polite and I asked you that.
You're right. I was very rude from the
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah, you are rude.
I took my time. I took multiple
You are
pictures.
showing
I
your
showed you the
racism.
picture.
You are showing the racism.
You're a racist.
Yeah,
You're saying
that's the...
Okay, you're obviously a racist.
Yeah, you are showing that.
The fact that you would
picture.
go there. Yeah.
You took the picture and I asked you
So
to...
he doesn't get what he wants. He's probably not following the rules or providing whatever documents they need. And then he just resorts to, you're racist.
You're doing the racism. So
that's how the Western world works. They kind of cracked it.
It's an easy hack. You can scam people. You can scam the federal government. And if you're facing any resistance from the white native population, just twist them with that racism knife. Exactly. He learns it before he learns how to speak properly. Mm-hmm. He learns accuse of racism. That's early. That's before you enunciate.
Then you get what you want.
Yeah.
And
then you can tell this type of guy, this type of like employee is like such a nice guy who runs an orderly store. And this guy's just causing problems. And if you lose this guy, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If your demographic loses this guy, that's a bad sign for your whole country coming over.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And then our next...
Like you lost us a long time ago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As soon as you came and you were fishing, yanking out carp, illegal fish, done. I was off. This guy has the patience of a saint. He's like a little kind of, normal retail worker. If you lose him, you're losing a lot.
Yeah, that's the final front. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, we have a story out of America about Indians, and it's about how much money they send back. Can you read it?
Yeah, it's about the in diaspora, however you pronounce that, but the people who are obviously from India and living here. Basically, the main piece of the headline is the Indians who are living in America are sending a lot of money back to their home country, almost $26 billion in remittances. Straight from America, all that goes to India, to their relatives, and it gets spent over there.
And then it says, for every job they help outsource to India, U.S. loses 2.5 jobs due to impact of local economy.
Yeah, which is the multiplier effect, obviously. If somebody who's making $75,000 gets their job outsourced to India for cheaper, now that salary is paying for the local economy in India, and then the person in America can't stimulate their local economy anymore. So it's just a reference point. It's like losing 2.5 jobs.
Yeah, and then it says India's fastest growing export is outsourcing.
Yep.
So the people who come here to work, they come here and they send the money back, and then they send the money back to people like this. This is cow poop shampoo.
This was fucking what we were trying to make a joke about this last episode, and we couldn't even come up with shampoo, and they're really doing it.
It's like, oh, you're close. You washed your hair, and you pick something that smells bad. You're supposed to pick something that smells good to wash your hair with.
Yeah.
But you had the right idea of washing it.
You were close.
You just put the stinkiest, worst thing you'd ever want in your hair instead of shampoo or something from CVS.
Yep.
And then we have other people here eating off the floor. It's like they're washing their hand before, which is pretty sanitary, and you cleaning off the spot on the floor, which is
The
pretty
slop spot.
The slop spot, which is pretty sanitary. But it's also ironic. Like, oh, you got the right idea. Yeah, you got to clean the spot you eat before, and you got to wash your hands before. But where you missed it is you're eating off the floor.
Yeah. So it's like right idea in both of those videos, but poor execution. You're close, but no cigar. And then those are the type of people who, like, if you give them any lip, once they come to Canada or America, they'll pull the racism lever.
Oh, you're being a racism. And then
You're being a racist.
And it makes you wonder where they learned it. And I have a few theories. Here's one. So this person's mad that there's trash all over the beach.
It's such a shame that you have such a bad attitude. It really is. You're a very bitter person. You really are a very bitter person. It's a shame somebody your age is so bitter.
Listen.
Yeah, I know.
Make
I know.
a trash.
You're an anti-Semite. And
No.
Yeah.
That's a shame what you do on the
What you do. You own the beach, right? You own the beach.
You think
you own the beach.
You think you own the beach.
You think you own the beach.
So the argument. So I don't know if it's Orthodox or Hasidic or whatever.
Yeah.
The very Jewish people, they left a bunch of trash in the beach. The lady's filming it and calling him out. And then they're saying, oh, what do you own the beach? You're an anti-Semite.
Crazy. And
the ultimate victim card.
I know.
That's where they learn it.
And that, it's not a winning strategy for anyone, you know? That's the main point here. There was a brief window, maybe Obama's second term. This was it was a cash cow. It was like autism in Somalia, baby. You could accuse anyone of racism. People would shut the fuck up. They'd be afraid of losing their job or something. Now it's, they overdid it, and the supply is too high and nobody gives a shit anymore. You're losing the Canadian retail guy.
Exactly.
So.
All right, we are moving on to our final page of housekeeping. Make sure you guys tickle the post, juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. Notifications to be on. P.O. Box needs to be full. We have to go to the P.O. Box this week. Hope it's full. Hope we have Christmas gifts, or else we'll be pretty sad.
The lady who works at UPS will be mad at me for leaving so many packages there for too long.
She goes, shit, it's you.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, our first story from the final page of housekeeping, where I can talk about whatever I want. The New York Young Republicans Gala, the 112th Gala meeting, was over the weekend, and Raheem Kassam was the head spokesperson, and listen to what he said during his speech.
Rob Smith is here, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Smith, straight from a tennis and ceviche course. The Fleckers viewers will get that one.
That was in front of like 2,000 people.
That's how you have to do bits. Yeah, thank you, Raheem. That was
Thank
very
you,
good.
Raheem. It feels so good, and it's good to amplify our lore, and that's why we sit in the chair.
That's why we do it day in and day out.
That's why we do it.
So a Rob Smith bit at the New York Republicans
That
Gala.
maybe like 150 people got.
Yeah. Also, Alex Brusowitz fainted during that.
Yeah, we're not going to show that. We hope he's okay.
Hope you're okay, Alex.
But they were saying he locked his knees.
That's what Rob said.
I don't know what that even means.
I don't know.
I think I think it's a blood sugar thing.
Get well soon.
You're a friend of the show. We want you to get better soon. Yep. Okay, our next video is birds going into an engine. This caused an emergency landing. And we've heard about this. This happened to Sully on Netflix. So he goes up, everything's fine. Dog. So you're going, the engine gets hit, and then it immediately starts making a weird sound, and the plane starts going like that.
Bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
And
There's
Sully
birds
got
everywhere.
doubled. Sully got doubled.
That's
why-
what did it.
Yeah. So this was a single engine, and they were able to land.
And you can fly it on one engine.
Yeah, but not great. You have to land soon because you can't. You need the redundancies while 200 souls are aboard. You know.
Wow.
So they had to
Well,
land.
you think after all this, you make a plane, goes around the world, goes up fast, 1 million miles an hour, and then unless a bird gets into it.
I know.
What the fuck are you talking about? You can't just grind them up?
I don't know.
All right, next is a
People
guy.
get sucked into engines. Every once in a while, there's like a Delta worker in Atlanta gets sucked in.
He's sucked in.
It's bad. I mean, people get they become like meat spray paint.
Maybe Rick Grinnell needs to investigate who's getting sucked in at the airport.
Take a flight to Costa Rica. Are we being too mean to him?
No, we like him. I don't know anything about him.
I know.
And I think I met him once.
Okay.
And he doesn't even know this show exists.
Okay, good.
And if he's a show watcher, we're sorry.
We apologize.
And you're not. So if you're not a show watcher, you're fair game.
Yeah.
All right, next is a person who escapes a near-death situation. Going fast, slippy. Uh-oh. Reverse. And then he reverses out of it.
I didn't even think those physics were possible.
Sully as well.
Yeah. Nice work, Sully.
Nice work. Everyone who saves a bad situation is Sully.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go fast to the next things because we're running out of time. People have a conspiracy theory that Michael Jackson is Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
Which is maybe a little absurd. But then you hear that Nancy Pelosi broke her hip and she had an emergency hip replacement. And you wonder, how did she break her hip? And then we see this. Michael Jackson wrestling.
Holy shit. Oh.
And he does the move. That's kind of sick.
Good for him, yeah.
And then he jumps up and he's got all the Michael Jackson moves incorporated into wrestling moves.
Good for him.
So if he is Nancy, that could be how she broke her hip.
Broken hip is bad. A lot of people die shortly after a broken hip. Like, that's a tough surgery to go through. So I don't know.
Old people can't handle stuff like that.
So Nancy will probably only have like 5-6 more terms left.
Yeah, exactly. She'll win re-election again.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. We are getting into our alien section, the most exciting part of the show. First, we have a guy who shot a bottle rocket at a drone.
Shoot that boy down, bro. Shoot that boy down.
How did it hit it?
Direct hit. Wow.
That's an incredible shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are thinking it's aliens. What is it? Some people think that it's aliens and the government's sending drones to distract so you can't tell what's what and you assume it's all drones. I just want to remind everybody that Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon, and Neil Armstrong backwards is Nort's Mr. Alien.
Wow.
So Nort's, I don't know, maybe that's an alien, maybe that's his alien name, but Mr. Alien is pretty compelling.
Yeah, that is. I get no argument here.
And then there was a guy online who is in the drone business, a CEO of a drone company, and he said that he spoke to somebody who saw a dirty bomb nuke. Because apparently in like the 80s, there was like, after Reagan did the disarmament thing where everyone had to like disarm their nukes, like 50 or dozens of nukes went unaccounted for. And apparently, this is what the guy said, a nuke got into the U.S., and then these drones are following it around or looking for like traces of radioactive material at night to try and see it, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems federal to me. It seems like American federal shit that we don't want to go public, and we're just saying, hey, no, you didn't see that, like type shit. It doesn't seem like aliens to me at this point. It just seems like an operation. Trump's asking questions about it, and they're like, okay, shit, don't tell him. We don't have to tell him until January, so I don't know.
Trump said that the Joe Biden knows and the military knows, and they're not telling us, so that's obvious.
Yeah.
But if it is a dirty bomb potentially in the U.S., there is a theory that goes with it that it would explain that, and I thought this was pretty interesting meme.
Now let me see if I have got all of this straight. If we get nuked, it'll be by missiles built with technology given to China by Bill Clinton, funded by Iran with money Obama gave them, with warheads developed from uranium sold to Russia by Hillary, and refined by Iran into weapons-grade plutonium in Russian centrifuges, bought with money Obama gave them, and Trump's trying to undo this shitstorm, but he's the traitor. Amazing.
So kind of a boomer meme.
Yeah, Comic Sans, whatever the font is, that's a telltale boomer font. And then the stock image, they're going like this.
But that does make sense. And then you know how the deep state works, where like each president needs to do one deep state thing for the big chess game. So Obama giving the money to Iran, Hillary Clinton in the uranium, they all did their thing, and it could culminate into a big final kaboom.
And that's how all intelligence is and counterintelligence is done. It's either laundered or tried to make to look like a certain country's signature You know, so that's kind of how they get away with
It's
stuff.
the deep state trying to nuke us, potentially.
I don't know. We'll see.
And then ABC went, and then here's the footage they got of a plasma drone.
Bill and Sandra, you know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts.
So it looks interesting. It looks like it's got a bunch of wheels spinning around. We have another clip here of the same thing. Same thing, where it's like a bunch of orbs and wheels.
Looks like an atom from science class.
Yeah, I bet. I'll take your word for it. But then if you look at like the Old Testament, what they described angels as, like these orb things with like a million eyes and all these wheels, it kind of does like the biblical Ezekiel's wheel, which is like rotating on its own axis. It kind of looks like that, which is interesting. And it makes you wonder, like, is it an Old Testament angel? Is the veil being lifted? Maybe. Is the government trying to seem like the veil's being lifted? Maybe. Could be that. Is it white hats scrambling to find a dirty bomb before it goes off? Maybe. Maybe aliens are going to prevent a dirty bomb from going off. But then maybe aliens might go, this world's fucked while everyone's transgender.
Oh,
maybe just
they hold that against us.
Maybe just let them nuke ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Too many theories, too many schizos. This could break someone's brain, and this is how people go crazy.
Yeah.
This is actually like the thing right before someone has a schizophrenic break that sets them off the edge.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching you closely, buddy.
Hey, aliens, if you're thinking about stopping the dirty bomb, please do.
Yeah.
Not all of us are trams.
Please. Thank you.
I found a clip from an old NFL game from like the 70s.
Yeah, 1979.
And you can start it at 39 seconds here. So basically they're in the game and then they go, oh, we have some things in the sky we can't explain. So watch this.
Check and do things that are important around the trading facility.
You'd be my first employee.
There it is. Now what is that? You keep saying, take us to your leader. I don't know.
So at an NFL game, I think that was 1979, they saw the same orbs.
Yeah.
You would agree that's the same orbs.
Nah, I don't know. Don't lock me into anything.
But I
think our government is up to something, and then they're just trying to stay quiet as they can and not cause any panic.
But whatever that was from 50 years ago is whatever we're seeing now, similar at least.
Yeah. And then what we said last time when we were talking about all this drone stuff and how I said, it's federal, it's got to be some sort of like U.S. government known operation thing. Why wouldn't they just do it in Wyoming? The dirty bomb, like that theory has been getting a lot of traction online. I'm not going to pretend to know more than the average layman here, but that would be a reason that they would have to go over New Jersey, New York area. So that kind of rings true to me, you know?
Or if they needed to practice the drones and they needed to practice in like an urban environment for the future facial recognition, AI, whatever they're going to implement on us.
All right.
Okay.
Had to make my rational point a little more twisted and schizo.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, we're done with our aliens. We're getting now into our final two pieces of housekeeping. Die Hard, Christmas movie. Everyone watches during Christmas, right? In the movie, the wife of Bruce Willis gets a Rolex from her company because she's a corporate business gal. And then at the end, we're just going to have you read it, but that's the thing you need to know going into this.
All right. This guy says, did you know the wife's Rolex in Die Hard is the most important symbol in the film? She receives the Rolex as recognition for her corporate work away from her husband. Her cocaine boss tells her to flaunt the Rolex to her husband, the cop. She won't because she's embarrassed by it. She's redeemable. At the end, Hans Gruber is holding on to her wrist by means of her new Rolex. He's pulling her to her death and pointing a gun at her. The husband sees this and unlatches the Rolex, causing Hans to fall to his death. Watch carefully. Both the Rolex and Hans fall. John McClane literally saves his wife's life by unshackling her wrist from her corporate slave wage job and restores her as his wife. Very based. A family is reunited on Christmas. So yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Isn't that nice? And then it also teaches a little lesson about the corporate world.
Yeah.
How to unshackle your wife.
I agree. Unshackle.
Okay.
That's nice.
That's nice. It's uplifting. It's housekeeping. It's our final thing of housekeeping.
Okay. What about this?
Our last thing of housekeeping before we move on. The year's coming to an end. I'm sure we all have goals for next year. We all want to improve our lives. I saw this meme that rang true. It says, the magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding.
So you got to do the hard stuff.
You know? You go to the gym and you say, oh, I'll just do the chest press machine and maybe some triceps. Or you go, I'll work out my back, but I don't want to do deadlifts. I don't feel like doing deadlifts. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So you go to the gym, you go, oh, I'll do pull downs, I'll do some biceps, maybe some rows, but I don't want to do deadlifts because those just suck so bad. The magic you are looking for is in the deadlift. So whatever the thing in your life that you really don't want to do because it sucks so bad, but you know it's good for you, that's the thing you need to do to level up. So I'll be deadlifting in the new year.
What about cardio?
I'll be deadlifting in the new year. Nothing from you? Nothing from you?
I'm going to deadlift. Deadlift is what I'm avoiding, but he sent me this meme originally. He sent me this meme originally, and I go, buddy, that's cardio for you.
Nothing? Nothing from you? Okay, I guess we're moving on to Cringe of the Week. Before we get there, we have a very special announcement for you guys. Christmas is coming, and if you're looking for a gift for the show watcher in your life, gifted Bonus Land subscriptions are now available. So if you have someone in your life who watches every episode, how cool would it be on Christmas Day to give them access to Bonus Land? Hours and hours, honestly, days of content at this point. Pages and pages of episodes, specials, Henchman Maxing 1, Henchman Maxing 2, all kinds of great content. They're going to love it for the show watcher in your life. It's linked in the description. Go there now. And also, I was thinking, sometimes people don't really have gifts to get for people. They don't know what people like. So even if it's like you can just give them Bonus Land, you gave them something.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they like the show, give them Bonus Land, and they'll either love it or they'll go, oh, thanks, that was thoughtful. So even if it's not a great gift for that person, still give it to them anyway.
Okay.
It's a real good thing for the holidays. It's linked in the description. Go there now. Gifted Bonus Land subscriptions are now available. All right, Cringe of the Week. All right, our first story from Cringe is a firefighter who switched his gender to meet the physical requirements.
Yeah, a trainee firefighter who failed exam became a woman because the pass mark was lower and was successful. Clean heist.
Clean up.
You gamed the retarded system.
Yeah.
So let's get to the details of the story because there is a FU part of this. This was in Spain. And this guy basically, Spain, apparently wherever this was, has a ranking system where everyone goes through the same tests, like written and physical, and then they rank them. And then they take the top 126. So if you're 127, you're out. If you're 130, you're out. You're 122, you're in. So the fake transgender person, the guy who failed, he was ranked 201st place. And then he goes, oh, I'm a lady now. And he got up to 101st. So you'd think he'd be a little better. He'd probably a bad test taker.
I think he'd be top 10.
Yeah, no. But the problem is somebody else, Mr. Ansejo, was bumped down and no longer made the cut.
So number 126 got bumped to 127 and didn't make the cut.
Exactly. And then so now I think that guy is considering taking legal action, and he's claiming he lost on the chance to become a firefighter once the other guy said he was changing his sex. So that's the thing with a lot of these trans things. It's kind of funny, like you're gaming the system, like, oh, I'm a lady now. But then someone has to eat shit because of it. The girl, second place girl on the podium at the track meet. The firefighter who had a job and now he doesn't. So some real scumbag shit, and I think the kind of scumbag shit will happen until an adult in the room gets serious, right?
Maybe Trump can send Rick Grinnell over.
Sort
it all out.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we found this old story. Ratboy found this old story of an American firefighter who didn't meet the height requirement. Can you read the details of that?
Yeah, Gino Franceschini, New York City, was only 5'6.25" and apparently the height minimum that you had to be a New York City firefighter was 5'7". So here he is with an apparatus he created, stretching out his neck.
Stretch your neck out.
So, I mean, it's a lifelong, people want to be firefighters and they'll do whatever. They'll change their fucking gender. I'll suck whoever. Who do I have to suck? They'll stretch out their neck. This poor guy, he's 5'6.5".
Basically killed himself to get in.
And then the story also said this guy bumped himself on the head So he had like a lump and he still didn't make the cut. So tale as old as time. And, you know, the adults in the room have to be the ones who say, hey, you're not a lady. Hey, we know you've been stretching your neck out, you know?
Yeah. I'd like the stretch your neck guy out to get in.
He's better. Yeah. That's a dog. He's hungry.
Yeah.
You know?
I respect it.
So,
but then they got taken too far with the homosexuality.
Yep.
Okay. Next we have a meal day in the life as a fatty meal prep thing.
Everything I ate today as a fatty. We're starting out the day with some breakfast. And we also had to get some protein in for breakfast. We got Dutch Bros. We got cauliflower pizza for lunch.
Oh, that's healthy. Healthy.
Ice cream tea with peach and raspberry. For dinner, we're eating a burger bowl.
She's close on some.
I know. All right, you get the point, right?
If you did the burger bowl lettuce wrap and then the sweet potato fries and then like the keto pizza, you're losing weight for this person.
You're close, yeah.
But when you start your day off with that sugary donut and you spike your blood sugar and your glucose goes up, you literally like
handicap yourself.
It's like impossible after that.
Yeah.
Because then for the rest of the day, you're going to crash energy-wise after, and then you're going to be like wanting to eat shit for the rest of the day because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
And then there is a thing, and like that's why keto is so popular. Like when you do keto and you don't ever spike your blood sugar level, you basically, if you don't spike your blood sugar, you can't really store fat. Like you can eat like 5,000 calories of meat and steak, and you're not going to really gain fat from that because your blood sugar is not spiked and your body's not in a fat storage mode. When you eat the coolers, the drink the coolers from Starbucks and eat a donut to start your day, anything you eat excess calorie wise is going to be immediately stored as fat. It completely fucks you up.
The worst fat people really like drinks. They're mixing, they're pouring multiple liquids in, they're getting drinks.
Pumps.
They
pump it full of all the syrup.
And that's horrible. The other thing I want to say about this, I'm going to go back to the first frame of this where she shows her full body. Obviously, she is a fatty. She says what I ate in day of the life of the fatty. This girl doesn't have a bad face. She doesn't have like one of those deformed freak faces. She's still got the skinny face. She's got decent teeth. She does skin and makeup and stuff.
She's married. She has a wedding ring on.
And then she just trashes her body all day and makes a joke of it on social media.
Just eat the burger bowl. The sweet potato fries will be your little cheat, and the keto pizza or the cauliflower pizza.
Yeah,
just eat that.
It's sad to me to see somebody who like throws it away.
And then they post on social media and like I'm sure she gets cooked in the comments.
Of course. We're talking 2024. People are getting cooked, right?
But there's also people who are like, yeah, eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, next let's go to our quirky couple.
Main lesson there, you can't start out with a donut. And this girl's fat. She dunked the whole donut into the thing when it's not taking milk. When the donut's sealed and doesn't have that first bite in it, it doesn't take milk. She should know that as a fatty.
She should know that.
All right.
All right, next is a quirky couple.
Here's how we reset for the new year as a self-proclaimed power couple. This time of year, we love to have our big annual partner summit. We talk about our favorite memories from the last year and what we learned, and then set some goals individually and together for the next year. We talk about how we're going to help each other and sum it up with a mission statement. We make a whole date night out of this, and honestly, I look forward to it every year. I've put together a little guide for you guys with all the questions we use, so you can find that in my bio if you want to give it a try with your partner.
Yeah, so they basically turned their relationship into a girl email job.
Yeah, you could have had a conversation and instead you made a homework assignment.
Yeah, remember we went to the Bahamas? I loved when we went to the Bahamas and rode horses in the water. That was cool.
Yeah.
Now you have to put it into an Excel document.
These people, man, I don't know. And hey, to be fair, I don't want to be too rude to this couple. Some people are like this, and they like organizing, and then they find another person who likes organizing, and then they do Post-it notes, and then their vacation is every second is planned.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. But for the pulling out the laptops for this,
the summit,
I don't know.
Don't you live in the house with them?
The email job. They turn everything into an email job. That's the key point there.
She likes the structure. Mm-hmm. And then there's a meme that goes along with this that kind of, they call it the Quirk Chungus couple.
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah, can you read some?
Quirk Chungus, the girl, fails to realize she has already become her mother. Some dogs are doggos, some are puppers. Missed out on being a whore.
Good for her.
Man-child lacks all personality and will. This has, in turn, become his entire personality. His own existence is okay with him somehow. And they have a cat. I don't know. I don't really agree with everything on that.
And that meme, that guy looks like you.
Chill out.
Unfortunately.
That guy can't fucking bench what I bench.
That's so true.
So.
And then he likes Star Wars and probably watches, unfortunately, pornography.
I like Star Wars when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now I don't.
Good point.
So.
All right, next. Remember we talked about Caitlin Clark on our last episode and how she got the athlete of the year, but then apologized for being white?
Yeah.
The Mystics owner, which is a WNBA basketball team.
For those of you who don't know.
She went on CNN, I believe, and said this about Caitlin Clark.
It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA, and it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized. And I don't think we can just pin it on one player.
There has been, this phrase has been couched, hasn't it? The Caitlin Clark effect. Why do you think that has been the case?
Well, I want to be very diplomatic about this. It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have.
So it's all about race. And that was the owner of the Mystics. And there was a community note that came up on this video that said 31% of the Mystics ticket sales for the whole year came from the 2 games against Caitlin Clark.
That's unusually high. So everybody came to the Mystics games only when Caitlin Clark, one specific player, was in town.
Sounds like the player of the year.
Yeah, sounds like times per athlete of the year or whatever. You know?
And then Caitlin Clark had the most points of any rookie since 2006.
That's like 20 years.
The most assists ever, and her record was 337, and the previous record was 225. So she beat it by like 50%. And then the most rookie 3-pointers record.
Yeah.
So she's the athlete of the year.
But this woman has seen tons of black players shattering records like that, I suppose.
Yeah.
As a rookie.
And then imagine if they gave the athlete of the year to Angel Reese, and then a white owner of a basketball team came on and said, well, there's a lot of white people that it could have gone to.
Yeah.
That would be insane, right? And everyone would be in uproar. But that just happened, and it was basically okay. And this is after Caitlin Clark apologized. So how did that work out for you, Caitlin Clark?
Exactly. You're still going to have people saying, yeah, Caitlin Clark was right, and she should have apologized harder. Also, my last piece of this, the Mystics, I don't know, where is that, Seattle? Is that some stupid shit like that? The Mystics, I didn't know WNBA teams had owners. Because I thought it was a charity league that lost money every year.
Yeah, that last year they lost $40 million.
So what happens? The owner goes, yeah, smoking on a cigar. Like, what does she write a check at the end of every year? Yeah. Oh, gee.
How'd we do? Down $40 million. Oh, man.
So what does an owner of something that drains money every year mean? What does that mean?
That's a good point.
That's like that's the equivalent of the rich guy whose wife has a flower shop that just loses money.
Yeah.
That's like the NBA is, that's who it is. And I guess, she married someone or something?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a sign of the times, too. Like, everything has been so, like, competitiveness and competitive competition in general has just been removed from society. And then you see people talking like that on TV, and it kind of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. She's the owner of the team that loses X millions a year. Great.
And she's complaining. And then they tell Caitlin Clark she has white privilege, even though she worked hard, was the best, and was marketable. So white privilege is you do all that, and then they say, oh, we're taking your rewards away.
Classic.
And then the NBA seems to be following suit, or maybe trying to merge with the WNBA. I just saw this clip. Guy takes off his jersey, and he's wearing a sports bra. And I think it's a P. Diddy dog whistle.
Oh, you do? Did you think it is? He's saying, P. Diddy, we stand.
Yeah.
We stand with you, P. Diddy.
We still doing the gay shit. We holding it down for you, P. Diddy, till you're out.
All right, you're going to tell him the truth about this?
It's like a body tracker.
Yeah, this is like tracks like your metrics, your heart rate, how fast you move, shit like that, whatever.
You could have threw some sleeves on it.
Yeah, you could have let it go all the way down and tuck it in. You
made it an Under Armour or something.
You made it exactly like a sports bra for to humiliate these guys.
To humiliate these guys is the key. And we're going to be discussing in Bonus Land today the decline of the NBA as well. We're going to get more into it.
Ratings are down, and we're going to tell you exactly why.
All right, our last clip of Cringe, Harry Sisson has a message for us.
It's crazy how it's only been a month and Trump supporters are already regretting their vote. We told you so.
Oh, cool, bro. Cool leather jacket. Oh, you a little buzzed off a vodka soda lime. What's getting picked up feel like?
What's weighing 120 like? Can you explain it to me? People toss you around? They play catch with you?
You sit in the car seat, or are you able to handle the impact of the airbag if you were to get into an accident? That's all I have is what's getting picked up feel like.
Yeah, that's a good bit, brother. Good bit. My thing is, Harry Sisson, I think this type of guy doesn't know what a Trump voter is. They have like this meme in their mind of like this racist, mean, hateful something. And he can't conceptualize it, and then so he makes up a scenario where everyone's mad at Trump after nothing happened so far. Everyone's just eagerly awaiting his return, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anyone's like, oh man, this is really horrible and bad so far. I hate this. So the whole left, all they have, it's like they're yelling. It's like a bunch of people playing on an NBA game and someone yelling from the 300 level, like, hey, this game sucks. You know?
Exactly.
He's got no stake. He's got no influence in the game. It's over. And so, I don't know. That's all they have. And this is actually a really good sign for us that that's all they have.
Mm-hmm.
You regret it, don't you? It's like, no.
It's like, brother, we haven't even started yet.
Yeah. We've only just begun.
If you asked Harry Sisson, what's more entertaining, the WNBA or the NBA?
He'd go, ooh, that's a tough one, man. He'd say some shit like that. Ooh, that's a tough one. And he might eventually get the right answer.
He might say NBA because I grew up as a Cleveland Mavericks fan. Yeah. But, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
that is the correct thing.
He'd give you some bullshit preamble.
All right, let's get into Urban Decay.
All right.
It's going to get a little worse. But in Urban Decay, we have our top 20 words that could also be black names, and that's going to slap, but that's coming soon.
Okay.
Can you read the first headline? New York Post had an article, or a cover, actually.
Yeah. Fairly stupid. MTA offers $1 million to study why people evade subway cost. So it's about fare jumpers. And there's a picture, somebody jumping the fare, not paying the $2.90 that it costs to ride the subway.
And they're doing $1 million study to figure out why. And then New York Post says, we have the answer.
Because no one arrests them.
Please send the check to New York Post, 6th Ave, New York, New York.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then it's from the article. We have some highlights.
Yeah. So it says the Metropolitan Transit Authority is planning to spend up to $1 million in federal grant money on a study they hope will help them understand the mindset of an average fare evader, which is crazy. You know, that's just pissing money away. I'd rather spend it on how cocaine affects a bird and their mating habits. You know, This one's so stupid. The behavioral study could cost between $500K and $1 million. The agency said in the proposal that they had already done some of their own research into people who skip the $2.90 fare and have already categorized them as either opportunists, rebels, idealists, youth, unintentional, or low income. So, like, they already have done the research. They already have it, and they're like, let's spend another $1 million, right?
Black.
They're minorities. And then, so it's also funny because, like, to study the behavior of something, it's like you're talking about studying the dumbest group there is. Petty, low-level, impulsive criminals.
Similar to when they want Elon Musk to fix homelessness.
Yeah.
It's like you're studying the people who jump over the turnstiles because they're criminals and they don't care and no one arrests them.
Yeah, you're studying drug addicts who live in squalor. It's like, yeah, they like drugs more than they like eating properly or living properly. It's a pretty simple one-for-one thing.
Got it. All right, who do I have to give $1 million to?
Yeah, that plus no consequences? Great.
And then similar to no consequences, obviously it gets worse than just jumping the turnstiles and evading fares. TikTok exec randomly slashed by maniacal stranger? Maniacal.
Yeah.
On subway sues MTA for systematic negligence.
Systemic. Stu. You should let me do that.
I was reading good.
Yeah.
The last few weeks even, I've been on fire with my reading. Earlier in the episode, I rattled something off Justin Trudeau. Pretty great.
Yeah.
And I just botched that.
Yeah, you lost it. So yeah, do you want me to read it again or something?
Nah, we got the idea. A guy who works at TikTok got slashed mad at the subway for letting all the criminals out.
Yeah, so now this TikTok exec, he got slashed in the face, and now he's suing the MTA for negligence. He says he struggles with nightmares, depressions, and flashbacks from the May 10th, 2023 incident, which occurred shortly after Daniel Penny's subway chokehold. Let's see what else he says. Moncrief was engaged to the love of his life at the time and working for TikTok when he saw Sean Lewis on the southbound C train in Brooklyn squabbling with an older drunken rider and tried to squash the beef, he said. I said, look, somebody was killed on the train 2 weeks ago. They were choked out because someone proceeded to be aggressive.
One of our guys.
Yeah, he actually was. He kind of was one of our guys. Lewis, who has a history of violence, this is the offender, including an arrest a month before their encounter in which he allegedly choked his girlfriend and threatened her with a knife, chillingly responded, thank you, and then just sliced him in the face with a sharp object from his forehead to his chin.
And this guy was banned from the subway system, and then he has an extensive rap sheet, which we're going to get into.
Yeah, it wasn't immediately clear why he was banned from the transit system. This is according to the New York Post reporting. But his extensive rap sheet includes 9 arrests between 2016 and 2021, including assault and strangulation charges. In 2023, the same year he committed this knife attack, which resulted in an 8-inch gash on the other guy's face with 100 stitches. So this guy's just an all-around animal. Here's a picture of him. Real Daniel Penny type. Or Jordan Neely type.
Real Jordan Neely type, yeah.
So,
and then they'll do a study on like, why is there all these violence on the subways?
When does the line cross from punching to slashing someone? Let's spend $500K on that.
And then Mediaite was trying to go after the right-wingers at the NYYR Gala. And can you read that headline?
Yeah, this was from, obviously, last night where Raheem was doing the quote, and then Alex Brusiewicz. But it says, New House Republican tells audience, we need a lot more Daniel Pennies because there are far too many Jordan Neelys in this country.
They're getting mad about that. And why are there so many Jordan Neelys in this country?
This is another Jordan Neely right here. Slashed a guy's face.
Arrested 9 times. Like violence, too. It's not like he's got arrested 9 times for evading the fares.
Yeah.
They don't even arrest for that. Pushing his girlfriend in a window, choking, all this horrible stuff. And then, whoa, why would someone say that? Why do they say we need vigilante justice?
So the leftist media gets all up in an uproar, and then like we can point out 100 Jordan Neely types, people with extensive rap sheets continuing doing random violence.
Speaking of extensive rap sheets and continuing to do random violence, shoplifting is pretty violent, adjacent at least.
Adjacent, yes. By definition, it is not violent. So,
but it is like robbing someone's livelihood
For sure.
and put people in precarious situations. We have some people who got caught looting in this next clip.
Stupid. I might as well just put that down.
Who's opening his door?
What?
Open the door!
All right, put that down.
Okay.
You go ahead and put it over there.
You have activated our inventory controls. Don't touch me. You don't have the right to touch me. No, not on my kids. I can call
Put your kids away. Call them. Call them.
You can't touch me, though.
Call them then. Go ahead, call them.
Whoa.
Good, put that down.
Come on. Y'all this way.
When they just laugh and they run out. And they say, you can't touch me. You don't have the right to touch me. So they know some rules.
They understand rules, and then they ignore the ones that are important to society. They just know what rules they can work around, right, to manipulate the situation to their benefit. The laughing really pisses me off.
Me too.
It's like, this is kind of who I think corporal punishment should make a comeback for. Like, it's so brutal caning someone in Singapore. But like these people are laughing, stealing as a group of friends on like a Saturday night or something.
Yeah, they're not like schizo drug addicts who are just like running out with a bunch of plastic bags or something.
They know it's wrong. They thought they could get away with it. Leave them in like a stockade for a while, you know? Let the townsfolk throw tomatoes at their faces.
That's a good idea.
There's kind of an old medieval line that we lost that these girls kind of fit the perfect example of who should be. Like, hit their hands with something.
Yeah.
Do something because They're laughing, they're giggling, there's no consequences, and they're doing it in a group of friends. You know?
And then if they do get arrested or they do have to go to court, they'll cry in front of a judge, and the judge will go, I'm knocking it down to no big deal.
Exactly.
Not even community service. Yeah. Which takes us to our last piece of urban decay, the black name section. So we have our final list. Many were submitted by you guys, so thank you for doing that. These are the top 20 words that could also be black people's names. Number 1, latrine. Number 2, epiphany. Number 3, lasagna. Number 4, anesthesia. Number 5, citronella. Number 6, diatomaceous. Number 7, jacuzzi. Number 8, rosacea. And that could be used in a sentence like, rosacea stole citronella's phone and her cousin put hands on her. Next, amnesia. Followed by nefarious, followed by litigious, felonious, debris, cloaca. Number 15, sky rizzy. Number 16, trulicity. Number 17, harmonica. Number 18, delicious. Number 19, deleterious. What's that?
I don't know. Deleterious? I don't know.
Number 20, George Floyd. And we have some honorable mentions, Dayquil and Bordetella.
I noticed there were a few medicines in there.
Yeah, Skyrizzi and Trulicity. Those are the commercials you guys probably hear on TV.
It's funny because those are just like made up words, and then that's how a lot of black people name their children. Yeah. It's like a made up new thing. And so like the same departments are competing over scarce new words.
That's a good point.
So
thank you to everyone who submitted. Hopefully yours got read. We're going to do on Friday Retard of the Year award. So make sure you submit that. I think Mark Cuban's going to win, but if you guys send me some compelling stuff, we'll try to incorporate some others. Retard of the Year getting announced Friday. That is the end of Urban Decay. We're now moving on to Uplifting Gold. All right, Uplifting Gold. Don't get too down or too depressed. We have a lot of uplifting stuff. Our first uplifting story is Trump is eyeing to buy the D.C. Waldorf Astoria and turn it back into the Trump International Hotel in D.C.
And that's pretty dope. I mean, that's like a pro-right-wing hangout bar spot.
Whenever you go to D.C. and Trump's in power, everyone goes to Trump Hotel. It's beautiful inside. There's like 200-foot ceilings. It's incredible. The drinks are expensive. The crowd is good.
Keeps out the riffraff.
Keeps out the riffraff, and the people that come in and out are all the players.
So let me get this straight. He bought it before he ran for president, right? Like a pretty good chunk. Sold it after he was out of office, and then now he's coming back and buying it back or thinking about it?
I think
Pretty
so.
good game. And he could flip it. He could keep flipping this thing.
Yeah.
Then when Don Jr.'s Barron runs, keeps flipping it.
Keeps flipping it.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
So that's exciting, especially if you're in D.C. or you visit D.C., you know where to hang out because everyone in D.C. is a Democrat. You go to Trump Hotel, it's like everyone you'd want to hang out with.
You going to the inauguration?
No. No.
Dirty bombs? Too many dirty bombs
Too
in there?
many dirty bombs, to be honest. And then like President Xi's not going from China. And then that's kind of like
a leading indicator.
What does he know? What does he know? And then someone said, I think it was Owen Schroyer said, he should invite Netanyahu. And then if Netanyahu declines, then it's like something bad's going to happen.
It's a bad op.
Because if you bring people, all these other heads of state, you have like extra security and you like can almost secure your own security.
Yeah.
So
mutually assured security.
Let's not even do an inauguration. Let's just say, all right,
let's just
he's
make
in.
it safe. Let's just make
let's
it safe.
let's do a live stream from his office. Hey, I'm in. Everything's good. I'm back in my chair. Yeah. All right. Next is a dog who knows how to go sledding. So he's going up the hill. He's attached to the sled with his leash, and he goes up the hill. This is how you tire a dog out.
Yeah.
And then he goes down. And he likes it.
He likes it.
He likes it.
There was a cut there. It was edited, so maybe the owner kind of gets him situated.
But he knows.
He knows how to come back.
He knows how to come back, and he knows he likes going down.
All right.
All right. Next, Theo Vaughn made a George Floyd joke with Mark Cuban.
And, you know, we're trying not to be those hover parents, right, that are just like, and give them some freedom. Like my son, no, your curfew is this, you know, told him one time. He texts me back, let me breathe, Dad, let me breathe. Oh, I'm dying, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, like he's George Floyd or something.
You know, no, not that bad, right? But just like, you know how kids talk, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, let me breathe.
So he makes the George Floyd joke, and then Mark Cuban's like, no, not like that. He's just being a kid, right? Like, he can't be in the same room as a George Floyd joke.
Yeah.
That's how scared Mark Cuban gets.
You know, Theo Vaughn might be the only guy who rocks the just chin beard and no other facial hair.
That's interesting.
I can't think of one other guy who does that.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Good for him.
Very good for him. Next, we have a guy. Can you read what it says?
This guy's been signing his name like this for 6 months now. Fuck it. Why not? Who's going to stop me? And on the bill, it just says Osama bin Laden.
It's changing your signature to Osama bin Laden. That's pretty good.
Good for him.
That's a good bit. Next, the Baphomet statue that was erected for the Satanic Temple in the New Hampshire State House was destroyed.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Someone's Reddit tier fake religion got wrecked and stomped out by a true believer of Christ. What are you going to do?
That's what you get.
That's what you get, pussies.
Put it up again, see what happens.
Maybe believe in something.
Okay, next we have a girl who made an announcement during her school Christmas party.
I am very proud of myself and all of my other friends inside my class. And my class is really sweet, except one little boy. And I need to tell you.
So she's airing her grievances, except for one little boy.
That's great.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's uplifting. It's Christmas. Being a little like criminal.
That's good shit. Nah.
Merry criminal. Okay, and that's it. Now we have shout outs. The show's over.
Okay.
Is there anything before we go?
No, nothing from me.
We got a special shout out to our boy Tommy the lineman, number 45. He is in the 5th and 6th grade league. He's playing tackle football. He has 9 sacks this year. And in those sacks, 4 of them caused fumbles, and he recovered 3 of the fumbles.
That's some TJ Watt shit.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Nice job, Tommy. Keep it up. Great number, 45 as well. Keep running your feet and play to the whistle, especially at a young age. Kids aren't built like you. You're built different. You have the dog in you, and you know you do. If you get your hands into a kid, just keep driving him until the whistle blows, and even like a half a second after, and at a certain point, you'll just keep pancaking people. And then if you have people that are standing around the pile and the whistle hasn't blown yet and they're just standing there, come in and just fucking crack them, buddy.
Clean it up. It's called cleaning up the pile.
Clean the pile, blow people up at the whistle, let the ref pull you aside and say, hey, buddy, you got to stop. And you can say, sir, you didn't blow the whistle. I'm going to keep playing until the whistle's blown. And go back to the huddle, be respectful, but blow kids up like that. That'll set you apart from everybody else. Play to the whistle, play mean, keep blowing people up. Nice job, Tommy. Have your parents message me, and we're going to get you guys some t-shirts. All right, another episode in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckisTalks.com for a 30-minute bonus land dropping right now. It's going to be great. And remember, if you want to give a gift of bonus land, gifted subs are now available. Link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Friday.
Hello. How are you? Hi. Happy holidays. Hi.